Hey guys, I have Aribo here with me. Talk about 13.20 patch, which is kind of huge in my opinion because it changes League of Legends entirely. It's gonna be League of Legends 4, the way him and I talk about it, since it addresses a lot of snowballing. What do you think at first glance, Mr. David?
What's up, fellow gamers? At first glance, Jax is evolving from a PDF file to an MP4 file.
I don't know, bro. He
Nice
looks.
visual update.
I don't know. He looks kind of cool, actually, low key.
He looks kind of cool. I've seen the skins and stuff. It's not too bad.
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about the champions first before we address the jungle changes themselves. So basically, they're changing early actions damage and harassment power. Do you think it does something? Because I don't think it does that much, except on level 1 and level 2.
I don't know. Maybe with that movement speed nerf, you can sometimes catch up with a melee champion to get to do your combo on him. Or that's about it. But that doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I think
I'll
so.
be honest, I didn't even know his Q gives movement speed. I thought it's only a slow and the movement is from the passive.
Oh no, it
Might
doesn't.
be a bigger nerf, I don't know. And the E nerf,
It's just 5
I
damage.
mean, it's whatever. I don't know how many shots you get early game, but yeah, it's gonna lower his
Probably
win rate
around
and stuff.
3, right? 2 or 3. Probably around that.
I think it's a bit more.
Anyway, I don't think this champion is really good though anyway. Whenever you pick this champion, it just enables stuff like Yasuo, Malphite,
Yeah,
Jax.
no, I never like seeing with champion unless it's Druid or something. That's it.
The champion is just fundamentally bad to have, and sure, you can get away with him, but it's just not pleasant
Yeah,
to
if you
have.
get away with it, it's sometimes a bit broken, but it depends on the comps.
Sure. Next up, they're murdering Velvet. They're
Murdering Velvet, well, they're reducing attack speed early.
Yeah, and not only that.
Damage reduction to 42%.
Yeah, that's huge.
I thought it's gonna be like 40%.
No, that's just huge because without her damage reduction kit, you can just tank her damage and try and kill me with her when she should be invulnerable pretty much. It's just not a fair change to her.
Yeah, so they nerf her clear a bit.
Yeah.
With a passive, a bit. I think he also ends up losing a bit of damage.
They're also
and then the R nerf is really big, by the way.
It's big in team fights, but it's not big in early skirmishes that much, from what I can tell.
No, that's just HP on the minions, but I'm talking about the movement speed.
HP on the
15
minions.
ms, 15 ms early.
That's huge. That's huge.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I
think he's kind of dead.
Yeah, I think they
I don't know why you would
overreacted.
pick this. I don't know why you would pick Belvet now when you can just, I don't know, pick Zin or something, or Nocturne or whatever, just do something similar.
They overreacted because she got a lot of popularity in solo queue, and a lot of high elo players asked for nerfs when she used to get ahead just because people would snowball with her. They didn't pick strong stuff. You know the old story with mid laners not picking exhaust or ignite against her.
No, Belvet is very annoying if she gets some leads early, but it's mostly just people inting, and then she gets to play. Usually, I don't see Belvet do much by herself. I don't know.
She needs enemy team to int a lot.
Anyway, this is terrible.
Anyway, W cooldown decrease, shield restoration time decrease. They also buffed his ultimate last patch. They gave him a few seconds, but this changes nothing.
This is a buff of like level 13. If you're playing to a lot of melee champions, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Not even the cooldown on passive. Maybe at level 6, because it's 1 second less, maybe it does something very rarely. But
he needs.
You're gonna be out of combat for that, so who cares?
No, he needs buffs on Q. If they want to make Galio a viable champion, he needs buffs on Q. That's about it.
Yeah, buffs on Q.
Health growth increased for Jinx. Passive bonus attack speed now stacks. R cooldown decrease. Space damage increase. AD scaling increase. This is a dangerous buff overall. health growth increase 5 HP per level. That's not too great. It's like what, 200 gold of value at level 18. Not the best thing in the world. This is interesting. They are granting her 25 bonus attack speed each stack from Get Excited. And
I mean, this is
huge.
could use this buff only does something after you get 2 kills. So
Exactly, but think about in a team fight when you just land an ult and then you get excited. And then you get another kill because you have already the steroid to grant you enough attack speed.
I think it's rarely gonna do anything. Like you have to kill like 3 people for this to be useful.
Well, probably.
Oh yeah, you have to kill 5 people to win a team fight, so it's gonna matter.
If doesn't she get?
It's gonna be quite annoying one.
Doesn't she get the passive from Dragon as well?
I guess she does. That can influence it a
So
bit.
she can get the passive from Dragon, another kill, and she's just unstoppable. And also buffing her.
We're gonna have those Jinx memes again.
Yeah, yep. It's That's why I said it's a very dangerous buff. However, Jinx has issues laning. That's her main problem.
The thing with this buff is that unless people play Jinx a lot after this change, you are not gonna see this buff take place almost at all. But if you play Jinx, you're gonna see it all the time because, well, you're the one. Like if you play 10 games of Jinx a day, you're gonna see this pretty often. So it's gonna feel good for Jinx players.
Exactly.
Whatever or lame. Depends if she's meta.
And also we'll see later. Let's just skip this for now.
I think this one has more counterplay or something. I don't know what's up with those.
They're nerfing Kai'Sa, man. And by nerfing Kai'Sa, which is actually the most popular champion in the game in terms of play rate, they're also enabling Jinx to have a better lane phase against her. Especially since she can now range with Q. So just by that, she can appear as a potential counterplay in people's mind by picking this. So yeah, we might see Jinx a lot next patch. Especially with Dorans, that might make the game feel safer for her. We shall see. But it's a champion that may appear back in the meta. Anyway, let's get to K'Sante. Do you have anything to say about this champion? Because I'll be honest, I just don't care about him. I don't know. I guess they're rewarding.
Yeah, from what I've seen with these changes, they're just giving him a bit more counterplay. And making him more noob friendly.
That's what I understood as well from what I saw in Freak's rundown, or when he tried to address the champion itself.
Overall, it should be good changes. I think we'll see.
Yeah, he said that they are trying to take away agency from the player that has K'Sante and giving some agency and counterplay to the ones facing him. Because right now, the way he is, if he doesn't miss his abilities, he has the potential to just run down everyone from 100 to 0.
Yeah, he has too many options to change CC.
Exactly.
Even early in
exactly. And the only counterplay players have is just to guess where or when he'll go aggressive and play around that, which is not healthy for
him. Or have like a really super stat check champion and not fall behind early.
Personally, we'll have to see him in game. I don't think he's that annoying. To be honest, it doesn't feel that annoying in comparison to other tanks. But however, it does feel a bit unfair if you're a squishy target and you get caught into his CC. You just cannot escape.
Yeah. A lot of champions can play against him in top lane talk. If you get hit by one CC, you're stunned for 5 seconds and you get one shot.
Exactly. Then that just feels unfair. Anyway, let's move forward. We already addressed this.
Yeah,
this was interesting.
Dead.
What do you think? Kai'Sa, people are still gonna play her, bro. They're still gonna play her, even with this. They will come to conclusions like, sure, she can still get to the point where she deals damage. They still don't understand that a champion that doesn't get early prio will just cause harm to junglers.
I've almost never seen a Kai'Sa carry the game by farming. Like, just chilling in lane, farming and scaling, because they're nerfing her early game multiple times, right?
Yes, she doesn't
Every time
snowball.
Akaisa wins a game, she just got random early kills and then maybe she carries.
Yeah, she's just a
She
champion that
needs to.
has...
This champion always needed to snowball early, or she's completely useless. Unless she gets lucky, I don't know, get some shutdowns or
her
gets carried
kit
too late.
is not made for how should I put it, snowballing in league. In league, you want your lanes to set up a gank, to set up pressure, to get pressure, to invade. You want to play aggressive with her, and at most, what she can do is have a strong support and get some ganks, and maybe that way she gets to snowball and get her spikes early. In my opinion, she's one of the worst champions in the game, but either way, I think people will still play her, but she'll be even more of a useless champion, especially since she now might lose a few trades here and there. Anyway, Milio, what do you think about this guy? They are giving him quite a substantial buffs, actually.
Wait, what's the deal with the passive?
Burn
Damage
damage
now
now
counts as Milio's damage. Even when applied
counts
to allies.
as Milio's damage even applied through allies, allowing it to interact with a select number of items like Hextech Putrifier. So basically they are making him apply Hextech Putrifier in AoE with his ult, if I'm not mistaken. That's one thing they're doing. But damage will still grant the ally who applied the debuff the kill, preventing Milio from okay, this is just whatever. But basically they are giving him new ways to enable his passive. They're also buffing his E, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, the E buff is quite big. He's
Yeah.
definitely gonna be a bit more viable.
Yeah, they're giving
Kinda
20
looks like
damage.
they're reverting some of the nerfs they did to him for no reason.
It's
And they're only buffing him because it's past the World's patch. I'm pretty sure they nerfed him for pro play anyway.
Sure, it's really annoying
I
to
don't think it
play
was needed.
against Milio, especially if it's ocean map or if a champion has to stay in. It feels a bit BS. Yeah, we might see him play, but at the moment it's really hard to lane with him since hook supports are strong. He doesn't necessarily win against many champions, maybe against Lulu, but who doesn't win against Lulu? We shall see what happens with him. Probably with a strong AD carry. Who knows? Maybe enemy picks Kaisa and you have your Jinx, and with him you might win a lane that way. We shall see. Morgana. Will we see
I mean, this
Morgana
was pretty
jungle?
much a dead champ.
Yeah, the dead champ. So, question is, what do you do in Morgana jungle? Because this change wants to put Morgana in a dual position, right? They're just buffing her W in order to clear jungle.
Yeah, should be able to clear okay with this buff, I think.
Yeah, and they're
But
enabling
I don't know.
her R to deal damage in
Yeah, I don't know what you are gonna do with Morgana jungle. I mean,
like, why would you pick
I don't
Morgana
know.
over Elise? Why would you pick Morgana over Evelyn? Why would you pick Morgana over Karthus? What's the point of this champion? It doesn't.
Not sure. Maybe if you want to counter something specific.
Who's gonna play Scanner, bro?
I don't know.
That's at most what
I
you
don't
can.
know what's the jungle meta right now. People play a lot of random shit, whatever they feel like. Kinda like it doesn't even matter what you pick in jungle.
We might see something interesting with her, taking into account the jungle changes overall. But even if this enables a scaling meta, like if you enable a scaling meta, why would you want Morgana anyway? Since her late game stats are very bad anyway. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like they buffed Morgana jungle again because they have this period after the World's patch where they can do whatever they want and it doesn't matter for pro play.
Sure, but this doesn't really do anything. Who's gonna play Morgana jungle? That's the point. It's
Nobody,
a shame.
because it's not a champion that is gonna give you agency to win a solo queue.
She might give you agency in terms of early ganks, though. That's about it.
Yeah,
But
even Zara after buff is better than Morgana.
sure.
in jungle.
And the thing is, the main issue
That
in
actually
Morgana,
skills
the main
and
issue in
clears
Morgana, I
fast.
think, apologies. The main issues with Morgana is that you get fed, you get like 5-0, and then 0-3 Yone comes and stat checks you anyway, and you lose the game. That's the issue with Morgana. There are so many bruiser champions beyond broken, like Yone, Yasuo, Nasus, that just don't care about how fed you are. So it's just a feel bad champion.
Yeah, you're gonna have an extra blasting one on Morgana. That's crazy.
Which does nothing.
If you are fed. Yeah.
What do you think about Queen?
Queen nerf?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't see her enough, and I haven't watched someone play against Queen in a lane, or I haven't played against Queen in a lane. I don't know what's up with this, but
She's
it's a
basically
very annoying champion in solo queue, I
yeah.
guess.
She's basically like action. This is the sort of change that I feel like some rioter played against her and decided to make these changes
I feel like this change
out of nowhere.
is kind of out of nowhere, but I think it makes sense because her HP and MS was a bit too high for like an AD carry that
I
already
agree.
has
I
good
agree.
tools.
I agree.
So it's nice that they're buffing her ED, but maybe they'll need to buff her damage further to make up for this. That would be good. Because, yeah, it's really boring. You're kind of idle and in top lane, and some champs can't deal with her at all. And that's just 335 is way too much for like a ready mobile AD carry. 330 allows for some like melee top laners to
I mean that
catch her
was
evade
her
with her
shtick,
or
right?
all in her.
That was her shtick, running around the map with a lot of movement speed and trying to make up.
I mean, even that, like, just for having basically global Moby boots.
Yep.
Well, whatever Moby boots as a champion, her base MS is way too high.
Well,
like, it doesn't make sense for it to be that high. 330 makes sense. Maybe even 325 would make sense for this champ. But just a bit.
I don't think they'll
for
touch her anytime soon after this. It's just.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's like the biggest nerf ever. It's just gonna be annoying for Queen players in some matchups. They have to play better. Like, can just auto win with range.
Yeah. ZW cooldown increased. Basically, they're adding 3 seconds to W in late game.
I don't think this does anything except if you max W second, which some people do, that's it. Because by the time you get to put points into this ability, you already have no cooldowns. You already have... so instead of a 3-second nerf, it's gonna be like a 1-second nerf because you have all the ability haste items when you get to late game.
Yeah, in late game, Zed feels like has 3 shadows. That's the point, and you have no counterplay against it.
Yeah, well, I don't understand why they don't buff his early game, or maybe make his passive more useful or something.
I think they're not buffing his early game.
Most lame passives.
I think they're not buffing his early game because he's a popular champion. And being a popular champion, a lot of people want to play him. They want to learn him. And if they do that, they're just going to create a snowballing champion, a snowballing assassin. And a lot of people hate playing against assassins.
Yeah, I mean, I think historically Zed has very high ban rate in solo queue, especially in low elo, because you have the mages mid lane players. They don't like playing against Zed because they
don't get exhausted. They always play TP.
Yeah, I mean, they just don't know how to play the laning phase. They get poked randomly and then all in and they die. That's why they nerf Zed's early game. But they should actually buff his early game. Like I said, maybe they have some room to even make his passive more useful, because that's just like a lame passive. It barely does anything. The last hit minions with it and it does nothing the entire game.
Yeah, I mean, point is...
And they could make his W cooldown even longer early and then scale up to...
point is effectively this change, all it does is that in late game, when you want to use your shadow again, you basically have...
wait a second.
Yeah, you have to wait a second. That's pretty much it.
And I guess they killed his W second max, but I don't even know if that was good. His E-max is pretty good second. You get damage, CDR, slow.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This change does basically nothing except for very, very good Z players, and a very good Z player usually will not be affected by this anyway. Moving forward, this is a huge change.
This looks broken.
Yeah, a lot of people might not see this, but This is the difference between slightly hitting a Q towards someone or hitting it with a minion and harassing the character with AoE. It's just ridiculous. I think this was at one point its original hitbox, and then they nerfed it at one point. Ziggs has...
Yeah, maybe like season 2 or something, I don't remember.
I don't remember
season
either.
3.
But I remember Ziggs having a huge hitbox, and already Ziggs is such a powerful champion, and as per usual, people buy tier on him or mana crystal. They give...
play him bot lane. I don't think he's good bot.
It's not necessary that he's bad bot, but you know the drill. Whenever they play him bot, they play him with TP, and you cannot have a non-combat summoner spell on the most aggressive early game summoner spell when everyone forces you to fight early. Like, at least play him with Exhaust and Adoran, man. You just take TP and heal and die.
There's no choice.
There is a choice.
There's no choice now. I mean, they're gonna buff Doran items.
Oh, obviously. Yeah. That's for sure.
If you have a player on your team not buying a Doran's items this patch, you are allowed to leave the game and just go next account. I mean, that will be the highlight of this patch.
We might see Ziggs gaining a similar play rate just as Orianna. We are getting to that point into the meta again. I guess this change is really, really huge. We shall see.
Yeah, it's just massive because it's so much easier to hit this spell all game.
Yep. And
Ziggs had some trouble. I mean, there's a lot of random mobility in the game, and when you get to late game, it's hard to hit Qs now. It's just so much easier.
So again, if someone has issues understanding why this change is so massive, hitting the hitbox is basically giving you the entire damage you have on Q. No hitbox, no damage on Q.
Yeah, also you can hit AoE sometimes.
Sure.
You can hit 2 targets instead of 1.
It's a huge change.
You can hit more minions.
Now, moving past this, we are getting to items. Isn't this cute?
That might be the biggest change of the patch.
The Ziggs change?
The Ziggs Q.
Yeah, I think so too. Let's go over again. Maybe you can count Xantec since he's getting a rework. They're killing Belvet, they're reviving Ziggs. That's one thing, and they're reworking Xante. Now getting to items. Look at this cute thing they did for mages. Isn't it nice?
Yeah, this item was kind of garbage. Because you had to get to void stuff, like basically... this is just nice, that's all.
It's just nice. Another quality of life for mages. They get another Sorks at a very cheap price. What do you want me to say? I hate mages. I think mages are just broken by default. I know mage players have issues with bruisers and they think Exdrinker is broken, but what can I say? I think this change.
You can't even really buy Exdrinker nowadays.
Of course you can, because it's free 1400. It's an awkward buy. It's a good second buy for sure, but it's not a really good early buy.
You don't really have much room to buy Malmortius in most games.
Of course. Well, anyway, this is very nice change for mages. And to be fair, since they're keeping the same price for voice stuff, right? It's not the worst thing at all. Sure, take this. Make your voice stuff, budget voice stuff, more accessible.
That's gonna matter more often than you think, especially if you have to buy it early.
Sure.
Because you had an awkward buy, you can... If you don't have money for this, you have to go blasting one and then you delay it.
Yeah, and
buy 800 gold.
A lot of people will do the cute Sorks plus Blighting Jewel now, probably. Since it gives some flat magic. Yeah. Anyway, they're killing Dustblade of Draktar. Ability haste 5 reduced. Damage amplification reduced by 2% from missing health. They're just making this item worse. Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason to buy this item is if it's really hard to kill your target, because assassins should be able to one-shot anyway if they have a proper setup. And you only need this Dustblade passive if the target is too tanky, or if you play against, I don't know, Lulu or something and you have to break the shield and deal a bit extra damage to finish the AD carry or something.
I
I'm just
think
giving a random example, but I think Duskblade is only good if it's too hard to one-shot someone and you really need extra damage. Because otherwise, why not just go Yomu or Eclipse?
yeah, but the reason people buy Duskblade is for the invulnerability. That's why they want it. They don't really buy it for damage
Yeah,
amplification.
but
They just want the effect controls.
invulnerability is useless because the other items give more.
Sure, and they're also
More
buffing
utility.
Ghostblade as a result. So assassin
Yeah,
players
I
will
mean,
just
Ghostblade was definitely overnerfed. I was saying that I don't think Ghostblade is OP. It just needed a soft nerf, and they ended up kind of killing the item, and now they have to buff it back, of course,
yeah.
because they were wrong.
I
The original community.
I don't get what they're doing by this. They're just reverting items that assassins buy. I mean, I'm not an assassin player, but you kind of have to feel bad for them for having to deal with this. Like you either buy Ghostblade, you either buy Duskblade, but then they're nerfing Ghostblade, then they're buffing Duskblade. Like what the hell, man? Can they just balance
Maybe the
items?
options are a bit more balanced now, but they're gonna remove them in a few months anyway. GG.
Yeah, we shall see. For now, I think it's just a band-aid change.
Yeah, and LDR is nothing. It's just a bug fix or whatever.
Genster passive. What's it say? Target with more.
So it was bugged against shields, and now you also get the damage, the bonus damage if you hit shields.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay. So it was bugged. Okay.
And they slightly nerfed it too.
Probably it's gonna be the same result now that the bug is fixed.
Yeah, I mean, it's so rare that AD carries get to cap this damage because there are a lot of champions stacking that much HP.
I haven't seen LDR that often used nowadays anyway. That's also something. I mean, some champions use that, but not a lot of people do. You don't get to that point into the game. That's the thing.
It's okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yomo's big is it's a big buff. I mean, a lot of people are gonna build this item now.
No, it's 4 lethality and 6 lethality afterwards. Yeah, it's a good change.
I think the item was okay on some champs even before this buff.
This would probably be better for Senna now, even. Like, a lot of Sennas go Eclipse, but you can also use this now. It's really annoying to poke with her. Who knows? We will see a lot of Ghostblade play now. A lot of Rengars will go Ghostblade now. They'll just swap items. They will stop building Duskblade and they will beat Ghostblade.
Yeah, but I think Yomu or whatever was fine. It's just that Duskblade was too strong in comparison. Now they're just gonna buy this item. Whatever. Let's just skip it.
Sure. Now the big jungle changes. Oh boy.
Okay, so Smite does 0 damage. That's the first change. Smite does 0 damage.
We are updating Smite to make it more user-friendly. If your cursor is on top of a large epic monster, minion, or champion, you smite that target just as it always has. However, if your cursor is hovering over an allowed target, you will automatically target the closest epic monster within a small radius. Interesting. That way you don't have to fail smite again, David. That change is made for us. We will not be flamed for smiting.
But how many smites have you failed because people are on top of the dragon?
I actually failed a few.
Huh?
I actually failed a few because of this. Anyway,
of course.
This means junglers can still smite dragon power even with a massive cho'gath. Actually, I dislike this in the way simply by moving their cursor off to their side. Once upon a time there was a skill in League of Legends called tanking, where you would position with your champion over your AD carry in order for your AD carry not to be hit by skill shots. Making it harder for your squishy target to be targeted.
Or even auto attacks.
Or auto attacks, true. Oh
you
man.
You can still do that with words.
Otherwise, okay, so what's this? They're changing smite to champions pets to 14 at all levels, which basically results to nothing. Close only counts as in horses. What? Smite now has 350 units of targeting for this means you are close near their model, but not on it will knock us through. You are targeting them. Okay, so they're just reiterating what I said in the description. They also changed the damage type, so you don't proc red buff just by smiting, and they're giving a very, very small buff when you already have upgraded your item, and the game doesn't matter anyway when you use
No, that's only to feel good about one-shotting raptors.
or golems, pretty much.
Maybe you steal raptors, and it gives you 30 gold.
Yeah.
Like from range.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it.
Jungle companion upgrades. They're basically removing tenacity, and they're also making a very awkward change with tankiness, as in you can still get tankiness against epic monsters if you're alone, but if there are more people you don't get that tankiness anymore, which is really weird. Like, it discourages team play. Why would they do this?
It discourages team play. They just wanted to nerf jungle in a way that people don't even think about, because I feel like 99% of League of Legends players don't even play around that. They don't even know it exists.
Exactly.
Like, I always forget about it. What the fuck I'm thinking. And usually it doesn't matter that much because, how do I say it?
Junglers are already tanky.
Not just that, but your team doesn't change their decision making just because of this passive.
Yes.
Because if you are doing the Baron, you're with.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to say. The closest.
No, it's not like you can control the number of players you are going to have on the Baron. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, and they will not
it's
position
based on what's happening in the game, who's alive or who's near or who wants to win.
They will not position differently. That's another thing. Like, even at Baron, not many people know that the closest target to the Baron deals half the damage. Like, supports don't necessarily go into melee range when they're doing Baron.
Endless Baron lost because the support is not tanking the Baron and you don't have damage to kill it. GG.
Yeah, these are jungle. Basically, these are jungle fundamentals or jungle. How should I mechanics that other players are not they don't know.
You know how you get those loading screen tips that are 99% completely useless?
Yeah.
Why don't they give a tip like if you tank Baron you deal 50% reduced damage or something? Why is that not a tip? Or why isn't that showed in the tutorial for League of Legends or something? Like,
yeah,
I don't know. They can't get that information unless somebody.
And why just only one tip? Why just only one tip? That's another thing. Why does it have to be only one tip? Sometimes I stay in loading screen for more than 2 minutes, and you could put at least 5 tips there. Like, they could do so much. But the point is, they're just making the game complicated for no reason. And they're not nerfing jungle. They're just nerfing team play. They are just making the game experience more miserable for everyone by doing this mechanic, by adding this mechanic.
Okay, so they are nerfing green and blue?
Yeah. They're nerfing movement speed.
But it's not gonna really... Like, they're both gonna be viable, just worse.
I mean, do you even buy green smite for the tenacity?
No. I only buy it because I don't want to get one shot.
Yeah, pretty much.
And the tenacity is bait anyway. They poke the shield and CC you anyway.
And you don't have it. You don't have it for the most part.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, it's a bit nicer this game because they have fiddlesticks and thresh, and maybe I use this tenacity. But you buy it against the one shot, and even if they roll out of CC, I don't go green pet.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't mean that is going to be useful.
They're at least buffing the shield, though. Look at this. They're buffing the Moonstopper shield, see? That's good. That's a lot of health for early levels.
Wait, they're buffing the shield. I
Yeah,
didn't
they're
expect
buffing
that.
120 HP. That's a lot. That's almost a ruby
It's just-
crystal. That's a kill.
I almost can't believe that. Is that a mistake in the patch notes?
It might be. It might be.
I mean, that's a weird scaling. It probably starts with level 1. Maybe you get, like, I don't know, 40 shield early, but even that is, or in mid game. But that's still something.
Yeah.
Either way, I was just trying to say that if they have a lot of CC, you can go blue and have a lot of movement speed so that it doesn't
And
matter
deploy
that they
CC.
CC you. Like,
Yeah.
the blue pet is more tenacity than the green pet in most games. I don't think people
Yeah, they
realize
don't
that.
think
You
in such
actually move
terms.
more with blue.
Yeah, they don't think in such terms, obviously. Well, I don't think this is a big issue. I don't think this.
Yeah, I don't think this changes the game at all. Like, it doesn't nerf jungle.
Tarzan was just making a huge deal out of it, but these changes in particular don't necessarily affect jungle. I'd say.
I haven't been following that thing that much. I don't know what he said, but yeah, like
he
these
just
changes.
hates Freak.
Basically, he wanted to nerf these things because he said that junglers influence the game too much in mid game.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of true. I thought they wanted to nerf the jungle early, but when I saw the thought process, I realized that, like, yeah, junglers.
But the issue for junglers
You can't
is that
really
they
win
can't do
in mid
anything
game
early.
with objectives and stuff, huh?
The issue is that junglers have nothing to do early, man. They have nothing to do on their
Yeah, of course, they have nothing to do early. Now they probably have nothing to do early even further.
Yeah, they're just changing. Do you understand these changes with HP? They're probably it's just slightly. They're making them slightly tankier. The thing
Yeah,
is,
slightly tankier early.
how much will it affect the clear? And if we can get with our full clear champions by 30 to scuttle? This is the question. Because
I'm pretty sure they said they don't change the first clear, only the second clear.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Freak said so. Maybe, but in game we'll have to see it.
Yeah, anyway, I think this is only gonna matter for some champs that have like really long cooldowns. They can the DPS well, and then they have to like maybe use another spell.
Oh, so they're nerfing Jar one
Clear.
even further. Okay, GG.
Yeah, well, it's something like that. But I don't know. I'm not sure. Like it just depends. I mean, overall, like it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter that they increase. If anything, they're gonna make some champions like Nuno stronger with those changes. That's the only thing that would happen.
It might. Was this Rift Scuttler is an important objective, which means it needs to have an appropriate amount of health for its value. It rewards also need to align better with other jungle camps, since other camps only scale in experience, while Scuttle increases in both gold and experience. Just as Scuttle is yours to now scale more slowly. So they're adding health. Oh, that's a lot of health in late game. Gold given. They also increase the gold slightly. Experience given. That's like 50 XP late game. It's not too bad. Now the question is if you have a champion that can kill it fast. As in, how do tanks deal with this? Because for bruisers it's probably the same. It's just a few seconds. But for tanks, if it's harder to kill this, like it's just feels like it's another unfair tank. It just feels like it's another unfair change for no reason for targeting tanks.
Yeah, I mean, obviously if they make too many changes like this, I don't know how it's gonna translate into the game, but you might get that jungle gameplay where it's just too shit to farm, and you play Nunu and roll snowballs.
Sure. And then people complain about jungle being too OP. Well, monster attack damage.
Yeah, maybe Nunu is gonna be most broken jungle in the game randomly next patch.
It might.
Fisher is already challenger.
Nunu is already strong. I was actually quite wrong. I put him in late tier in my last tier list, but I think he's quite has potential for S definitely. Who knows what will happen? I honestly don't understand what they're trying to say with this monster attack damage and champion clear health. Like
monster attack damage.
All this is like cool numbers and so on, but
the fuck?
how does it?
Okay, so jungler jungle monsters deal less damage early and mid game.
I think this was for junglers in to have their sustain affected more. At one point, I think Freak said something about that.
Okay, so they changed the flat heal to only missing HP, so if you are close to full, you don't just, like, if you're 90%, you're gonna leave the jungle with 100%, but if you're playing out of Shyvana and dying to jungle camps, you're gonna get more HP.
That's actually interesting.
I think this is a good change because
yeah, it does.
It was like too easy. It was too easy for champions with sustain to be full HP and heal to full HP, while champions with no sustain have like nothing.
Yeah, and this is actually a jungle buff because champions with sustain won't have any issues. They already were clearing with full HP anyway. They have no issues with this. But if it helps champions like Shyvana,
nice Shyvana, nice Shyvana buff, too bad she's gonna get nerfed by pretty much everything.
Hey,
maybe, I don't know.
Jungle companion scaling, they changed. Oh, this is a big one. They nerfed the scaling now for tanks. I think they want to help tanks with this, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they want to nerf AD, and the logic is that AD champs have damage on autos anyway, so they want to remove the ratio. But that's going to affect them a lot, especially on the first clear, because if you get double adaptive, you lose some damage and healing, even on first clear.
Yeah, but again, we have to feel it in game. We have to know how it feels.
Yeah, I think it's going to feel bad, and you might have to run armor or magic resist runes on jungle now because of this 20% ratio. Just to have a good clear.
Imagine playing.
And that's gonna nerf jungle even further.
Yeah, imagine playing with the Marunes into full AD just to clear champions. I mean, clear camps. I don't know. A lot of things have to take into account in the experiment. Anti-poaching adjustment.
That's gonna matter.
Jungle item bonus damage to non-epic monster. Non-epic monsters. Jungle item bonus. Wait. 20% to 40%. Large monster armor magic resist 2042. Oh! So this basically, since they're nerfing the HPs and values for junglers, if you have the jungle item, this ends up being actually similar damage to what you are doing. But if you don't have the jungle item, it's actually harder for you to kill camps.
Yeah, this is pretty much almost... Okay, so if you see someone trying to kill a camp as a laner, he's just trolling the game. It's like...
Yeah, he's gonna use a lot of his mana.
He's gonna lose his entire mana and HP by trying to 1v1 Gromp and then...
Yeah, this is a nice change in theory, but the thing is, if a player wants to int, he'll int no matter what you do to
yeah, that's the thing.
Even if he ends up killing himself by doing that, he'll still do it because he's tilted. It's not gonna affect him either way. So I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it's nice if you play against, I don't know, Sion and he farms your cracks between turrets. Sion,
Tryndamere champions like with mobility or they don't care if they die. Sure. We shall see how this lands up. It's overall it does look like a good change. Lane Minion's experience adjustment for junglers. This is huge. This is a big one. Minion experience penalty disable. 1.1 levels behind the game average. 1.5 levels behind the game average.
Okay, so what that matters? Well, if you're at low level as a jungler, you could catch up XP from minions. Most people don't know that. If you're like low level, you'd get the full XP from minions instead of like 40-50%.
Yes, minion experience reward. Receive 40 to 75% at minus 0.14, then 100% to 30 to 100% at minus 0.20. Bug fix, this is a big one. Minion experience penalty is no longer locked in whenever jungle item is finished. Meaning, if you farm a lot and you're like 200 CSL9 feasting the enemy jungler, you're actually gonna have a lot of levels over him. And by a lot, that means 3 levels instead of 2.
If you farm minions, yeah. This was annoying if you had a long game where you have to
Fix waves.
split push. Yeah, split push in after 20 minutes. But overall, the XP amount from minions isn't very different. I mean, okay, let's say you're at 15-16 minutes, you're gonna have 85% or 90% is about 100. That's a lot of XP.
Question is, how many times do you get to hold a wave or hold an enemy?
Between 14 minutes and 20 minutes. Like a few waves at best if you split push.
Yeah.
And early game
like you
nothing.
get to hold them probably
early
2 or
game,
3 times. And that's one way.
Early game as a jungler nowadays, you have to run away from waves like they're the plague or something. Just don't touch minions because they give nothing. It's just so useless.
This is actually a hard. This is something like somewhat of a hard bait. As you said, they don't give minions, but worse, they don't give experience, but worse, they give your position. And not only that, if the enemy jungler sees you holding waves, and sometimes you have to do it, otherwise your mid laner loses a lot, or your whatever laner loses a lot. But if the enemy jungler sees this, he'll just invade you, and if he takes your camps, and you're forced to have bounty, Monster Hunter bounty from holding those waves, and on top of that you don't have camps to farm, you'll just fall behind in levels. You'll see yourself like level 3 into level 5, and it's just unfair. It's a huge change.
I mean, I almost always avoid waves unless, I don't know, I save 2 plates or something, or there's no camp or no play in the future.
Yeah, usually you have to avoid it. If it's a wave, it's not worth it.
Like going for a wave nowadays, it's like going for the most flip gank of your life. It's just so useless.
Yeah. Starter item buffs. This is again the huge one. Attack damage on Dorans, on Blade increased from 8 to 10. Health 20 increased. AP from Doran's ring free. 20 health. 40 health for Doran's shield. And they're also buffing the health regen, right? They're just buffing the scaling health regen.
Yeah, you know what's funny about these changes?
I
think it's a buff to jungle.
Yes.
Wanna know why?
No, I know exactly why you're gonna say. Because it rewards smart junglers. It doesn't punish you if you're playing against if you're playing against someone just flipping ganks and getting unfair kills. You have to play the jungle matchup itself. And sometimes it sucks because you're just dealt with bad cards. You're gonna play against a Nidalee, which you're gonna evade you 24/7, and you're forced to gank. That sucks if you're forced into that position. But what can you do if the enemy just picks Doran shield on both solo lanes, and on support you have an Alistar and an Ezreal? What will you gank? Nothing.
Yeah. I don't think the ganks are gonna be weaker necessarily because the enemy has 20 more HP, but you have 2 more ADs, so it's gonna.
They're also buffing runes early. They're also buffing runes early.
Yeah. The reason why I think this is a jungle buff is only because instead of your laner having curl or boots or some other garbage, he's always gonna buy Dorans now. I assume.
Yeah, you're gonna see tier Ziggs
I assume this community is human and they will go Dorans items on every chip and every game.
Tier 4 strike Ezreal, sure. Tier 4 strike Ezreal, it's good for scaling. Come on, man.
But overall, it should be a slight buff to jungle because now you'll have teammates buying the right item and you can play the game. Because let's be real, a lot of the time there's the tier start, I don't know, Orianna, and then it's GG. I mean, if you see tier start Orianna, it's just, you lost the game. You lost the first 20 minutes of the game.
Any champion that starts with tier is just something that most of the time ends up losing your game entirely. Anyways, they're nerfing...
Just play safe and farm, bro.
Yeah, just play safe. They're buffing adaptive force on water walking, but they're nerfing its movement speed. Again, they're trying to nerf junglers that would get a lot of movement speed and gank bot lane or mid lane with this.
I don't know, man. I think this is a straight up buff. Probably, I don't know. You get a lot of damage.
My take
How
on...
can you lose 1v1s with this rune now?
Well, I think my take is that you don't get to play other runes besides Inspiration on junglers nowadays, else you fall behind
Sure, but
in levels. It's
I like taking a little Serenity Water walking here and there if I want to have early pressure.
Yeah, sure, you're gonna take this against Kindra because she wants to fight for Scuttles on River, and that's about it. Probably. Or if you're Hecarim. Okay.
Yeah, I took one against Karthus today because I wanted to have movement speed and dodge his Qs and fist him, that's it. But it's pretty rare.
Just, I don't know, this rune needs to be reworked or straight up removed. It's just so weird. Or put somewhere else. Why isn't this on Inspiration tree, for instance? Why do we need to have Futures Market instead of Water Walking? It makes no sense.
Because I don't understand, Inspiration has to have a utility runes. This has damage, man.
Wouldn't this be a utility rune?
Not anymore. It has damage and 10 MS.
Yeah.
GG.
True. Snowballing adjustments. Oh boy, snowballing in League currently happens very quickly, which leads to a large amount of gains feeling like they're being decided 15 minutes. 15 minutes! Boy oh boy, that's a weird way of saying champion select, but sure, let's go with 15 minutes.
It's not just champion select, like the game is really too snowbally. Whoever gets kills early,
it just
the game is usually decided.
Yeah, unless you have a really good comp, like something with Swain or Yone that can actually play from behind. But even those comps might still end up losing if the enemy team has also Thanos champions. This doesn't allow players to experience a lot of the other fun aspects of League outside of the laning phase.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I sure love grouping for Dragon.
Man, but the game was snowbally for like, how many patches now? Like 30 patches. Like 30. No, it has been like turbo snowbally for like 30 patches. You know when it wasn't snowbally?
When they removed the runes.
No. The game wasn't snowbally when they did the durability update. And then after a few patches, they just nerfed every defensive rune. They turbo buffed dragons and they made the game extremely snowbally. And then that was like 30 patches ago or something.
It feels so long when they did that. Like they just added damage again into the game, and not to mention.
No, but durability update was really nice. The game felt nice for
yes, it did feel nice.
3 patches.
And they did again, as you said, they added a lot of damage in the game, and they straight up buffed champions, which ended up being.
I don't know, man. They are so delusional. They keep buffing damage runes as well. They buffed Lost Chapter, which made the game even more snowballing.
Exactly. And that's just painful. It's just painful to be one-shot. It's just boring. It's just, I don't know. Let's see what.
Not boring to be one-shot necessarily, but if the enemies don't make mistakes and I get a few early kills,
what can
you just GG.
Yeah,
you just
nothing
GG.
to do.
You just get suffocated. You can't play the game.
You
have to wait for them to int, and they don't int. You have F15.
Look at this, what they're saying. Wait, look at this. The problem is more prevalent in high levels of play, but still happens more than we're comfortable with at skill brackets.
Okay, pause for a moment.
Brackets.
Even low elo is extremely boring to play because you could play against a plat jungler and he gets like a random triple kill.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, your mid laner draws on himself and DCs and you get killed in the 2v2 randomly. Like, I don't know, Ivan Kassad in 2v2 early or something.
And it's
and then he's randomly snowball and you can't do anything because he just one-shot scamps.
Exactly, you don't get experience, you don't get to gank.
Takes the dragon, takes the herald and GG. Jungle OP.
Yeah. It's just that there aren't options on the map. The game isn't complicated enough. That's why it feels at higher levels that it's harder to deal with snowballing. It's not, because there aren't options to combat it. You just lose the early game and then you get stat checked. Or you win the early game and then you stat check. It's that easy. To address this, we're making adjustments to many systems the winner of the Sisters League that contribute to the issue of how quickly games are decided. That's great. Whether it's through gold, not affecting Rune, shorter death timers, allowing behind players to get back to lane sooner, or dragons not offering as many stats for the winning team. These are all intended to create more time to play before a game decided. So what are they doing? They're just changing the dragons, and they're also changing Reef Herald, changing Baron for it to be tankier early game, 3k early, that's pretty decent. And they're doing death timer adjustments, which is, level 3 death timer. That's level 2 into level 3 death timer on top lane. The most famous death on top lane, when the enemy top gets baited into fighting, the top laner gets level 3, it kills him in tower, and then he loses the entire wave. Now with this you can TP and freeze the wave and not get punished. This is just a...
Wow, the level 4 one is huge.
Level 4 death... Oh, 4
level
seconds!
4, level 4, level 5, level 6, level 7.
Yeah, they're just...
Wait, they are all huge.
Yeah, they're all
like
huge.
Level 9. Look at level 8. What is that? 6.5 seconds.
Yeah.
Nah, but...
6.5 seconds.
You can barely farm a wave or jungle camp or whatever with this change. Which is okay, but...
Okay, let's just...
I'd rather have this than... Like, to be fair, it's a bit boring that people can die and respawn and not lose much.
Exactly. The issue isn't
but
that
I guess
people
it makes
die.
the game a bit better. It makes the game a bit better, but it's not a good change.
It's not a good
boring.
change for champions that just die and still kill you. As in, what's the point in killing Cyan and Ilawi and Nasus or whatever champions that require at least 3 people to kill them? You waste a lot of time killing them. You don't stop them because now they're even faster on the map. They're still 1v9 and they still get to scale. They're not addressing this issue.
How can you play, I don't know, Rek'Sai with a change like this? Just what's the point of your character?
Yeah, I mean, even, as in, Rek'Sai still got directly nerfed last patch. He's a dead champion already. We don't even talk about this.
Or even something like Rengar. I don't know.
It's just noob friendly, but in a bad way. Because when this will hit pro play, and eventually it will hit pro play, when you'll see Nasus farming. Like, why is nobody talking about Nasus, bro? Nobody in this whole Twitter is talking about Nasus.
It's not...
You know what? I see people talking about
Desperate Nasus hit rank 1 with like 2k LP, and I haven't seen it on Twitter once.
Exactly. Like, why do people ignore this champion? People barely caught on to Alan playing Teemo. Like, people just barely caught on about...
I mean, he has been high.
And he has been
high on the ladder for years.
High. Yeah, he has been consistently high. Like, what does it need to happen for people to wake up and see that Nasus, for instance, is just as broken as Yone, if not even more? And this change helps Nasus to a point that it's beyond unfair. Like, you can't gank him only because now he gets a second wind Dora and Shield buff to farm safely in tower. You can't kill him. Even if you kill him, he's still alive because he now has shorter death timers. Like, these are fine changes in theory, but they cannot work without nerfing directly some champions.
Of course you can nerf some of these champions and then play the game in the next patch, but will they do that? And
they have to nerf those Thanos
is the quality of the game gonna be good enough? Because obviously they might end up buffing some champions that need to snowball early to exist, like Rek'Sai or Rengar or I don't know.
I don't think they'll do that.
Something.
I don't think they'll do that.
I don't think they'll do that either. Unless there's some really low win rate character because they like win rates.
Yeah, they care way too much about win rates. Like, Ezreal and Kai'Sa have similar player win rates, and they're like, one is the best champion in the game and the other is like the worst. And
yeah, Ezreal always had low win rate anyway, and they know that, but Right now,
Anyway,
Ezreal is overpowered. They don't nerf him because he has low win rate, because they're obsessed with win rates. It's just boring.
yeah. Let's just look over the
And you know what's
stats.
funny? They will only nerf Ezreal if he gets first pick properly every game. Until then, we'll just enjoy Ezreal being broken.
I haven't caught up with games at Worlds. Have they been playing Ezreal at Worlds? They should be.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
They should
okay.
be, I think so. But I don't think they will. Maybe, I mean, of course here and there, but I don't know if it's gonna be like priority.
The way I see these changes, we talked about it. It just makes it feel like when you have 3 dragons, you effectively have 2 of the older ones.
No, but not only that, but now if I take one Infernal early, it's gonna give me 3%. That's kind of useless.
Exactly. There might be an argument for taking flat gold over potential team stats that basically transit into nothing. Because if those changes, those small changes, don't end up in giving you 1v1 power, and you don't get to get soul, like you don't get to scale to soul, you don't get, the game flow doesn't give you soul, like taking dragons is useless. And they said they want people to enjoy the other aspects besides laning, which is team fighting. Okay, now you don't have an incentive to team fight because dragons are useless. So you just free push. With your Thanos level
These are
champion.
not useless, but the way I'm looking at it is that Cloud is still pretty good, like still does kind of the same thing. You get like Relentless Hunter as a rune. Hextech Drake kind of becomes low-key useless. Not useless, but not a lot of champions can use 5 attack speed and 5 face.
Don't do enough. The stats are just weak. It's simple as that. It's a stat checking
Yeah,
champion.
Mountain Drake is nice, but okay, imagine you don't play a tank. You're gonna get like 2 MR, 3 armor. What's that gonna do?
Not much. It doesn't do much for tanks either.
Like nothing. And Ocean is still good. I mean, 2%.
Yeah,
Ocean is not
still
nothing.
good. Ocean is still
Which
good.
is kind of weird because now you have to. If you see an Ocean, you have to get it no matter what, pretty much.
Yeah, especially early game. What I was saying, these changes just make the Thanos level champion on top lane, whether it's Nasus, Gwen, Sion, Swain, Yasuo, whatever, into 1v9 it with split push, Tryndamere, Yorick. Like, it just creates a whole class of annoying champions with no counterplay. Yeah. No way of stopping them because you can't gang them because it does nothing. You can't end for objectives because now objectives are kind of useless and they just have to group for 4th dragon and they win by default. It's just very dangerous to make these changes without nerfing those champions. It's just
to do it quickly. And yeah, they are buffing soul.
Yeah, they are buffing soul.
They're buffing every soul.
From what I remember, they said they want to end up giving the same amount of power when you have soul, like you used to have with dragons, right? So
yeah, I've seen that. The thing with these buffs to soul, yeah, like the soul is gonna matter, but maybe people aren't gonna value the dragons as much. So if you play a lot of games, you're gonna get soul more often. So maybe you're gonna have a bit more impact as a jungler. If the enemy jungler doesn't care about drakes and you just stack them for free.
Look, another buff to scaling Thanos champions.
Yeah,
now
but I like this nerf to at least I like this nerf to place because I think that
they're too powerful.
Champions randomly winning lane, or you just set a noob out of field player and he loses lane, loses every plate, then you have to play against
Thanos,
2 items champions at 15 minutes. Just way too much gold in the game anyway.
Yeah, this is again. These are fine changes.
I mean, come on. Even as a jungler, it's not fair to dive bot lane or top lane and then take the whole tower with Herald and get 300 gold from Herald. Then like so much gold from the turret, split, and then you're both fed as fuck. And enemy team can't do anything. You just have way too much gold. You snowball the game.
Pretty much. And now it's the rune adjustments. This one's quite interesting because I don't know what to make of it. I honestly don't know what to make of it. They are just buffing early damage, but they're also buffing Doran's items. And I don't know how it will feel in game, all these changes. They're nerfing scaling through runes, but they're also buffing early damage while also buffing utility, or not utility, survivability. In theory, it should end up canceling itself. That's the thing. Like, all these changes are, in theory, made to buff early.
I don't
and not
understand
mid
why they
late.
didn't buff Second Wind if they buffed Taste of Blood, but okay.
Oh, they didn't do that because of the memes. Do you understand how? Do you understand the shield, Doran shield plus Second Wind meme is something that they don't wanna provoke further from the community? Like, Second Wind is already a bad rune, but people don't wanna accept it. They confuse a champion's natural health regen with Second Wind, which is usually, if you look at its value, is almost nothing. That's the thing.
Yeah, sometimes I have to check if the enemy champion has Second Wind because I can't even tell because it's like non-existent rune.
Exactly. But sure, the meme is that Second Wind is broken. We don't check the value, which is basically non-existing anyway. But yeah, I don't know what to make of these changes. Honestly, I'm a bit confused about them.
Yeah.
It just...
I mean, on the topic, it's kind of awkward because conditioning is useless, Second Wind is useless, and all the time bone plating is useless. You have like 3 useless runes most of the time.
Yeah, but they're
on a lot of characters, and you play. Let's say you play. I don't know. I mean, usually, if I take resolve, I play Alistar. Let's say, and I'm like, enemy team has poke, so I'll go Second Wind because bone plating is useless, conditioning is useless. And then I don't get any value out of Second Wind, so
it's gonna
GG.
be even more useless conditioning now that they're nerfing Mountain. Another very small change, very small nerf.
Very small, but I guess at least the rune is gonna make more sense because the game is getting to scale.
We have to. I wish I
They
would
should
have
make
played
conditioning. I would like if they made conditioning like Gathering Storm. So it actually scales at 10, 20, 30, and you actually feel like it does something at 20 minutes because at 12 minutes it doesn't do anything anyway.
I don't think they'll do that because they don't like tanks being too tanky. They don't want the idea.
The thing is that in late game, if you're taking a skills, the enemy also buys pen, and who cares? But
yeah,
whatever.
sure, but it's about the perception. They don't want the community to falsely attribute.
Yeah, I get it. Gathering Storm is cool because it's scaling damage for hyper carries, but tanks are unfun,
tanks be the main character, therefore we shouldn't have them. I know. These are just.
But we have Heartsteel and Grasp on the other hand, which stack to infinity in terms of HP as well. So I don't understand Riot Games.
I had my first ARAMs today. Had my first ARAMs today from this. Following up to the rank restriction introduced last patch, we are going to remove the ability for ARAM when rotating game mode games to count towards reducing errors based on player feedback. No way! ARAM rotating game modes will no longer count. Bro, you're forced to play normals! You're forced to play blind picks!
I played 5 ARAMs.
Bro!
I was tryharding in ARAMs.
You're not allowed to do that anymore. You have to play blind picks now. You have to go draft.
Funny enough, my first ARAM game, someone rolled wood and gave it to me.
Man, I don't know what to say about this. I think I have a hot take about this. It's better to be chat restricted for a long period of time. So if you're the type of player that gets chat restricted, you should aim to be chat restricted for at least 1 or 2 years. Because that way, you won't have to waste time by playing normals constantly. You'll play them once, and then that's about it. If you're gonna get a 3-day chat restrict, then a 1 week, then another one in 2 weeks, imagine how many normals you have to play. So if you're gonna get chat restricted, might as well get a big one. Man. It's so
Might as
dumb.
well GPQ.
In game. Ping adjustments. Oh man. Ally scoreboard now pings are sent to your pre-made party instead of being self-only. Oh, okay. That's great.
Yeah, your pre-made party. Okay,
that I have my pre-made in my Master Plus game. Yeah, sure.
For 10 seconds after getting a champion takedown, all allied scoreboard pings directed at your champion are visible to the team.
Oh.
So after you get pentakill, your team can ping you alive a couple of times, so you get an ego boost. I don't know, man.
I guess that's
what is
that's
this supposed to do?
Get an ego boost when you get a pentakill.
Nice. The bait ping has been replaced with the enemy vision ping.
The whole ping has been
and
replaced.
the whole ping has been replaced with the need vision ping. Okay, I'll just tell me my thoughts about this. Enemy vision ping and need vision ping is kind of useful. I hated that I have to use another wheel to get those pings because now you actually have to use them more often since they removed all those pings. Especially if I don't know your team to ward Raptors level 1 against Kane or something.
Mm-hmm.
But why hold ping? That one is actually kind of useful compared to all-in ping, which is turbo useless because you can just ping something else.
Did it have a toxic icon or something?
Huh?
Did it have a toxic icon? Was it used like the?
No, it's just the icon where it's like a shield or something and does the. It's like makes similar sound when you ping your own turret.
I just use one. I just use one ping. I just use one ping for everything, and somehow my team understands me. I don't know. I just never.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I just never got too much involved.
I just don't know why they removed a somewhat useful ping where you can like ping to hold freeze wave or something instead of removing some other useless pings that nobody uses.
But the thing is,
that's just a silly decision.
You still can't ping the ultimate for your teammates if you have a global. You still can't ping your teammate if he's your teammate's TP if you want him to go to a lane. You still can't do that.
Yeah, and the most frustrating part is when you forget that you can't ping them, and
yeah, and that's the most important thing. I'll say the most important thing is that you cannot flame your teammates with pings. Like, what the hell, man? What the fuck is this? Like, why would they remove that?
Oh no, man.
Oh man, World's Clash.
So bad.
Who cares?
They trolled so much with these pings.
Yeah, like they just basically didn't change anything relevant with.
No, back in the day you had like one ping, you couldn't ping ults, you couldn't ping stuff like that, but why take it away now?
For obvious reasons.
I don't get it.
For obvious reasons. Well, David, where can people find you? Where do you stream? I'll link your stuff in the YouTube video anyway.
Yeah, Twitch TV, Aribo, lol.
Yeah.
No big deal, that's not even needed. GG.
GG, David. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens tomorrow.
I guess the game should be slower, that's about it. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I think jungle role is the same anyway. It doesn't seem like they actually changed the role.
Maybe we'll see like some novelty itemization, like a Doran's Blade on some AD champions, or a Doran's Ring on some AP champions. Who knows? Something like that. Maybe a Doran's Shield on
region in jungle.
Yeah, why not? A Doran's Shield on a Maokai. Why not? Why the hell not? Maybe we'll have some of those.
I'm similar to Doran's Shield full.
GG. Now look for ganks that you can't gank anyway. Anyway, see ya guys.
Nerf jungle 2 GG.